Let me share my screen. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, Karthik.
Yeah, thanks. So quickly we'll go through what we have discussed yesterday. Before that, let me open the workspace. So yesterday we have looked at the diamond operator, right? So what are the changes that the diamond operator for the diamond operator in Java 9? What are the changes that are happened for the diamond operator in Java 9? So whenever we are using the anonymous inner class, so whenever we are declaring, so the generics has to be provided for both the sides, right and left. But when it comes to the Java 9, you don't need to provide the generics towards right side for the anonymous inner class. So this is a change that is introduced for diamond operator. I know that you are not, you know this, but you're not able to explain it. So the way you can explain this one is, so whenever we are creating an anonymous inner class, so that generics has to be mentioned towards both and left and right side. But in the Java 9 onwards, you don't need to mention towards right side. So that is the one of the change that is happened for the diamond operator in Java 9. Post that, we started looking at the stream API changes, correct? So can someone tell me what is a take while, what is a drop while?
Drop while is like same as skip method. Take while is same as like limit method.
Okay, what exactly the difference between a limit and a take while?
Limit will take long as argument, but if you go for the take while and they both are taking predicate, which is a predefined functional interface in Java.
Okay. So what is the difference between a take while and the filter method?
Filter method can check throughout the list, but the take while once it is going to be get false, it is not at all liquidate the remaining elements are in the list.
Yeah. So in the collection, whenever you are using it take while method on the stream of objects, so first after the whenever the predicate becomes false for the first occurrence, from there onwards it will ignore the collection, correct? So it will, so there may be some instances where the rest of the data may become the true, but for the first occurrence when the predicate is returning false, from there onwards it will be short circuited. Hence this take while and drop while are nothing but a short circuit operations. Okay, so take while is same as a limit method, drop while is same as a skip method. Only the difference is skip and limit method are taking a long argument, take while is taking a predicate. So the difference between a take while and a filter is whatever the filter also takes the predicate. So whatever the predicate that we are writing inside the filter, that will be executed throughout the collection. But in the predicate that is take while or drop while is taking, once the condition is false, then it will ignore the rest of the collection, right? And what is about iterate method?
Iterate method is same like as for method in normal Java.
Yeah, for I equal to 0, I less than some size, I plus plus, whatever we are writing. And inside that, whatever we are writing the code, right? The same thing we can write using a stream.iterate method. So this is another method that is introduced. Okay, stream.iterate method and then for each. Okay, now, so these were the questions that we discussed or topics that we discussed yesterday. Does anyone has any questions?
Yes.
Anyone? So far, any questions? Should I repeat any part or shall we proceed for the next topic? Let someone please respond if you need anything. So what is the use of iterate method in the Java 9? So Krishna, the iterate method use is wherever we are writing the for loop, we can replace that with a stream.iterate. That's the thing. It's a simplification. So whenever you are using a for loop, you are executing this code, right? If the condition is satisfied, you are executing. The same code can be written like this. So it's a simplification for a for loop using a stream. That is a advantage. So in one liner, you can write the code.
Sir, one more method is the generate. What is that?
Wait, what? Stream dot?
Generate. Generate.
Yeah. Generate. I haven't tried this. Like, I'll let you know. I think it generates unordered stream. Okay. Let me try with an example and I will explain in the upcoming classes. I'll look at it. Okay. I'll let you know. Okay. Now let us look at optional class enhancement. So what is an optional? Can someone tell me?
Optional class is a finite class introduced in Java 8, which is used to avoid null pointer exception.
Okay. So how can
And
you avoid the null pointer exception using optional?
Yeah, we can check for the content presence by using if is present.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just writing. So now in some of the question interviews, they may ask you, okay. So here, whenever you're writing, can I write a return statement as an optional? For a method, can I add a return statement as an optional?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, we can. So what are the stream method which are returning a optional?
Off and optional.
Now, what are the stream methods which are returning?
Min, max.
Yeah, min method, max method. So those are the examples, right? So, okay. Now in the optional interface, so let us open the decompiler and look at what are the changes that are done for optional. What is the best way to create an optional object? By calling which method?
Off nullable.
Off nullable. We can call the off method also, but if it is null, the value is null, then it will give no such element exception. Yes. So if it is a if you are using a off nullable, if the value is null, then it will return empty optional object. If the value is not null, it will return the whatever the optional object that you created. Okay. Now java.util.optional, where is that? Yeah, optional. Now if you look at here in the optional in Java 9, so there are some methods that are created. Let's look at here. Yeah, I think if present is a new method, if present or else. So here is present, that is we have seen, correct? Is present is returning what? Boolean. So that means whenever you are using a optional interface, if is present method will return true, then you can get the, by calling the get method, you can get the element, correct? Now, if present, if the element is present, you want to execute some condition, then you have to use this if present. So if present is taking a consumer, for example, let me return this value. Let me create optional. How can I create an optional object? Can I call the new keyword or how can I do?
It has a private method, so we can use
private constructor, right?
Yeah.
Private constructor, not a method, correct?
Yes.
Optional dot off nullable, correct? Off nullable, and you can pass null value also, not a problem. Okay. Now, if I pass this one, can I say that I am creating an optional object by creating by passing OP? Now OP will, so OP is written by this M1 method. Let me make this as a static method. Static. Okay. Now, if I'm calling this static method from the main method, now what it will return? It will return optional, correct? Let me take this as an optional. Optional. I hope you guys have seen these kind of examples in your project, right? Yes or no? Now, for example, OP dot if present. That means what is the, see here, if you look at here, if a value is present, performs the given action, with the value, otherwise does nothing. That means if the optional value is not null, then I want to print it. If present, it is taking a consumer. What is a consumer?
Takes something and return nothing.
Yeah, it takes one argument, return nothing, but you can perform the operation, correct? Now what I am doing, P equal to sysout P. What is the meaning P? What is the P here? When I mention P here, what is the P? Whatever the value that is present inside a optional, correct?
Integer.
Now what is the optional? See, when from the M1 method, what you are returning? Optional object. What does the optional object is containing? Does it contain
Integer.
null or not null? Yes,
Null.
optional will contain integer, but what is the value I have set here? Null.
Null.
So can I say that internally this optional will contain null? Now, if present, if the value is not null, then if present, let's look at the code. So here, if present, to this if present method, consumer interface it is taking. Now, can I say that this is a lambda expression for the consumer interface?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, I request you all to please respond so that we'll make the discussion faster. Okay. Now, so if present is a method which is taking a consumer interface. So this is a consumer interface lambda expression. Consumer is a function interface. I can write a lambda expression. So I have written. Now, if present, I pass the lambda. Now, see, it is taking consumer. So now this dot value not equal to null. This dot value is nothing but in the optional. So whatever the optional value, is it null currently?
Yes.
Yes, it is null. If it is not equal to null, then only it is action dot accept. Action is a consumer interface name. In that consumer interface, what is the abstract method? Accept. This dot value, that means they are executing that, they are calling that abstract method. So if the value is not null, then only it will execute. That means when you can use if present, for example, in your project, whenever you are getting an optional value, and if it is not null, generally what do? If the value, this is how you write a if condition, correct? If the value is not equal to null, then you will write a code. So whenever you write this code, there may be a, for example, if you are not writing this null check, then null pointer exception might come. So now, but instead of that, if you are using op.if present will execute this condition only when the value is not null, correct? Now, currently, will I get any output?
No.
No, because the value, what the optional is returning? Null value. Let me execute the code. See, it has executed. I think it has given nothing. Okay, terminated. Okay. Now let me pass here 1, 2, 3. Now what is the value? That optional object is containing. What is the value? It is containing 1, 2, 3. Is it not equal to null? Yes. Then this consumer interface will be executed. What is this P? P is nothing but whatever the optional is containing. Optional is containing integer. What is that integer? Which is nothing but 1, 2, 3. So I'm printing that 1, 2, 3. See 1, 2, 3. So if present, there is a method used for this purpose. Now there is another method called if present or else. That means here with this one, what you are doing? Carefully look at this one and answer me.
What it is returning some default value.
Yeah. So here runnable interface. So runnable interface, why they use runnable interface means, so by default, every main method, every program is a thread, correct? So they are calling the run method only. Run method is something which does not take an argument and it will call the run method of your thread class. So that means it does not do anything. So if I take this one, what I will do, let me do op dot if present or else. So here, see consumer, if it is not present, if the value is present, I will execute this one. So here, so it is take this if present or else method is taking 2 arguments. One is a consumer interface, another is a runnable. What is a runnable? Is also a function interface, correct? Which takes one method, does not return anything, correct? Now, so it is calling that runnable. Okay. Now here, what I wanted to display is it is not taking any argument, but I will perform sysout value is null. correct? Yes or no? Can I do? See here, what is the first argument? See, if present or else method is taking two arguments. What is the first argument? Is a consumer interface. Consumer is a functional interface which takes one argument and it does not return anything but performs some operation. Now, can I say that this is that operation that I am trying to do? If whatever the value, if it is not null, then I am printing that value. If the value is null, see, look at here. If the value is not equal to null, they are calling the accept method. If the value is not equal to null, if the value is null, else, then calling empty action dot run. Empty action is nothing but this runnable interface. They are calling the run method. So that means to this runnable interface, I am writing a lambda expression. So what is a runnable interface will contain run method. See, what does the run method is taking? It is not taking any argument. It is not returning anything. That means it does not take any argument. It does not return anything, but you can write your own logic, correct? So see, it is not taking any argument, but what is the implementation I'm writing? The value is null. Now let me execute now. What is the output? Tell me, can someone tell me what is the output of line number 10?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Now let us run the program and see. See 1, 2, 3. Now if I pass null, what is the output of line number 9?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Value is
What is
null.
the, that means it will not execute first of all, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What is the output of line number 10?
The string will be executed.
See, the value is null will come, correct? See, value is null. That means if you are using if present or else, so that means in your project, whenever you are returning, whenever you are getting an optional object, if you want to do the if else condition, generally when the value, when we are calling a method, the method returns, the method will return some object. If you look at our project code, generally any method, whatever the method, sometimes it may return void or sometimes it may return an object. We don't return Boolean int sometimes. Generally, we return an object from the method. So if the object value is null, you will execute some condition. If the value is not equal to null, then you will write some code. So that code can be replaced with a if present or else, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is how this is most frequently used nowadays in the project. So whenever you are returning an optional, so what you can do for whenever you are using a min method, if the value there may be, see, if the collection is empty and if I am calling the min method, what is the output? I have a list, employees list, but I did not, that employee list does not contain any employees. I just created array list, emp list equal to new array list. I did not added any employees. Now list dot stream dot min comparator I'm passing. So what will I get?
Empty, sir.
That means it is, if I call the get method, it is null currently, correct? Now at that time, if I want to see if the minimum value is present, then I will wanted to execute one condition. If the value is not present, then I want to execute one more condition. Now, can I use that if present or else?
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes,
min
you
method,
can.
max method is returning the optional interface, right? Yeah. So this is a usage of that if present or else. Similarly, we can look at all the methods. Like we have a filter method also. Look at here. If you want to execute some on top of the what you call what I'm trying to say is when you get an optional object and you want to filter something, then also you can do this one filter method. Same thing. Whatever we are doing the filter method on stream, same thing. So this map method, flat map method. That means whatever the methods that are present in the what you call stream, they have implemented those methods in the optional object also. See, once you get an optional object, from that optional object, if you call the map method, means what happens? Map method is taking a functional argument, which is nothing but takes one argument and returns some different argument. You can also do that. Okay. So now let us look at, see, there is a method called stream, optional dot stream, that also you can get it. Okay. So this is very important, or else. So here, so if present or else is there, only or else is there. Okay. Now or else method, what it is taking? It is taking some argument. If the value is not equal to null, then it is returning the value, else it is returning the other value. Okay. Now, so for example, if the now sometimes whenever your value is null, you want it to return some string, correct? So here, let us write or else. So here, if the value is null, so generally, see, integer is a what? It's a wrapper class. What is the predefined value of a wrapper class? Default value.
Null.
Null. So, but generally, if you want to store something in the database for integer, what is the database data type in the Oracle? What is the data type that you will create in the for the column?
Okay.
No, for integer, it's
Integer.
number, right? For
Integer.
string,
Integer.
you will create a varchar. For number, you will
Number.
for integer, you will create a number.
Number.
So, do you store null or do you store 0? If you create a data type as a number, what do you store? 0, correct?
0.
So here, if you look at here, op.orelse method, so say it is taking one argument. So it is taking give that argument as 0. Okay. Now let us run the code. Now let me look at let me do print this out. Print this statement. See value. See here from line number 11, the value is coming as 0. Why the value is coming 0? It should come null, but I got the 0. That means this whenever you are writing sometimes whenever you're writing a method, so if you want to return some default value or some string, you want to return whatever the thing that you want to return, you will create a constant and then you will return it, right? So what this we do in using the or else method is, if the value is null, instead of returning null, so whatever the value that you have mentioned here, that will be returned. So if you look at the source code, okay, let me open the source code. It has java.util. Optional. If you come down, see or else. See what this method internally return this dot value not equal to null. See whatever the optional value, if the value is not equal to null, then that value is returned. If the value is null, then they are returning other. What is the other? Other is nothing but whatever the parameter that you supplied. Okay. Now, so or else get method is what? It is taking a supplier. Supplier is something which does not take a argument but return some value, correct? So that means whatever the supplier you do, that value, that supplier dot get method will be invoked. Let us look at op dot or else supplier. Can someone tell me what is a supplier? It does not take any argument but return. I want to return 10. Can this be a supplier function interface?
Yes.
So some supplier is something which does not take any argument but returns one argument, one value, correct? So here, so now here, what is the output? See, if I do this one, if I do sys out, what is the output? Tell me. Sorry, it's not
10.
speaking. Please go on mute.
10.
I can hear there is a background noise. So 10. That means, see, what is the difference between this one and this one? Here you are directly supplying the value, but here am I writing the functionality?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the difference is in or else get method you are sending the supplier, which is nothing but a functional interface. That means you are writing a lambda, but using or else method you are directly putting the default value. You can any of the thing you can use it. Okay, so that is a or else get, or else throw in order to throw the exception. The equals method, hash code method. Okay, so they have overridden the equals and a hash code method, and then toString. So whenever you call the toString method, if the value is not equal to null, then see they are whatever the value that is present, they are creating this one. Now let us do sys out. When the toString method will be called, whenever you try to print the optional object, correct? So whenever I do op, then can I say that toString method will be called?
Yes.
See, optional dot empty. If the value, see, look at here. See, if the value not equal to null, then ternary operator, then they are printing that. If the value is null, optional dot empty, they are returning a string. Okay, that's the reason we are getting a optional dot empty. Now, for example, here, let me put the value as 1, 2, 3. Now, what I will get the output from line number 13? I will get 1, 2, 3. And I will get some string and then followed by optionally. Look at here. Optional bracket 1, 2, 3. Why am I getting optional bracket? Look at here. So they have, see, if the value, this dot value not equal to null, then string dot format of optional, which is a string, followed by percent open bracket, close bracket, and then they are this dot value. So that is nothing but open bracket, close bracket. What is the value that the optional is containing? 1, 2, 3. If the value is null, what they are returning? Optional dot empty. Look at here. This is a string. Optional dot empty. Any questions? So from the interview perspective, they can ask you what is a if present, what is a is present, what is the difference between a is present and what is the difference between if present. Yeah, go ahead.
Explain once again with or else and or else get the difference.
See, or else method is taking one argument only. Or else get method is taking a supplier. Okay, the difference. What is a supplier? It's a functional interface, right?
It will supply. It won't take anything.
Yeah, it returns some argument, right? Yes. That means, so here, what is the difference between these two? I'm writing here, I'm directly, if the value is null, whatever you have written, that will be returned. But here, if the value is null, whatever the mentioned value that is you provided in the functional, in this lambda, that will be returned, correct? Here you can write only one argument. See, when I say lambda expression, can I write a code, more than one line code? Yes or no? Here, yes. If you are using a or else method is taking what? It is taking one argument only, correct? Since my optional is containing integer, it is taking integer argument only. But I want to do some other work. Then what I will do? I will use or else get. Or else get method is taking what? Supplier. Supplier is nothing but a functional interface. Now, whenever I'm writing a lambda expression, can the lambda expression be more than one line?
Yes.
So at that time, what should I do? I should put the open bracket and then close bracket, correct? Yes or no? Now let us write that supplier interface. Now, or else it is not taking any argument, but yeah. So now here, if I want to write system.out.println, can I write?
Yes.
Supplier.
Yes.
Okay. Can I write some code?
Yes, I understood. But what is the difference between that if present or else and or else get? These two seems similar.
Yeah. See here. See, in the or else, what happens is?
No. If present or else.
If present.
Yes.
See, if present is nothing but if present will return true if the value is present, correct? See, OP dot if present.
If present or else.
If present or else. Okay. Yeah, if present or else, what it will do? If the value is here, if present or else means if the value is present, that means in the optional, if the value is not null, then this consumer interface will execute. Okay.
Yes.
And if the value is null, then this interface will execute. Okay. Now, whenever it comes to the or else get, this will execute only when the value is null. When the value of the or else is null, so when the value of this optional interface is null, then whatever the supplier code that you have mentioned, that only will execute. Here, there are if and else, but this is only else condition. Hope you understand. Whenever you write a code, generally the code that you write sometimes is if condition and else condition, correct? If you want to do both the operations, if operations and else operation, then you have to go if present or else. If present, then this consumer interface will execute. Else, this runnable interface will execute. Okay. Now, whenever it comes to the or else method, this or else method will execute only where the value is null. Here, look at, let's go to the or else. Yeah. See here, if the value is not equal to null, then that current value will be given. Okay. If the value is null, then only your supplier will be invoked. Correct. Here the difference is if the value is not equal to null, here you are performing the consumer interface. Consumer interface means you can write some logic. But here, can you, if the value is not equal to null, can you write the logic? No. Whatever the value is there, that will be returned. If the value is not equal to null, then your supplier, whatever the supplier code that you write, that will get invoked. Hope you understand now.
Okay.
Any questions?
No. So then, what are the new methods here in Java 9 for optional? What are the new methods?
These are the methods.
Or else get.
You just compare. What you can do is you open the optional class from the rt.jar and java.base. You can easily understand this, or else get map, throw, or else. These are the new methods like stream, if present, or else. These are the new methods, whatever I have explained. If you want exactly the group, then you just open the optional class from the rt.jar, and this one you can easily look at it. Is that fine? Hope your doubt is clarified.
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions, anyone? Just a minute. Melvin, you have added some question. Now understand how to avoid the null pointer. Basically, it takes care of null check. Yes, Melvin, you're right. Whatever you are written is correct. So generally, whenever the programmer is writing a code, he may forget writing that null, not equal to null and all. But with the help of optional, you are calling the various methods. Like if a method is returning optional object, the value of that optional object can be null or cannot be null. So if what you are doing now, the future way of coding is you will always, whenever you see a optional object and you want to write some if else condition. If the value is null, you want to perform some operation. If the value is not null, you want to perform different operation. Then you will use a code like this, if present or else. Here, whatever consumer interface you will provide here, runnable interface. That means the code will execute automatically. There is no point of getting a null pointer exception at runtime. Yes, whatever the comment you have written is correct. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. If no question, let's look into the next topic. So now we are going to create different projects for. Now we are coming into the topic of modularization. You guys know that I have seen the code that from Java 9 onwards, do we have the rt.jar?
No, sir.
No. rt.jar has been divided into multiple modules. What is the base module for all the Java projects? Java.base, correct? Java.base is the base module. Now let me create one project. Now, if you want to create one project of Java 9, what you need to do, create Java project. So select same name as module 1, something I'm giving. Okay. Now I'm selecting the JRE environment as 9. So if you want to create a Java 9 project, you need to select the runtime environment as 9 or greater than 9 version. And at the same time, 9 version or greater than 9 version should be installed in your machine. Selecting here will not do the work. Java, see here, if you have selected Java 9, but in your laptop, only Java 8 is installed. Will it work? It will say that this, I'm not able to find it, correct? So obviously the software has to be installed it. You have to install 9 version or greater than 9 version, and then select over here, 9 or greater than 9, and then click on next. So what is the difference between a Java 8 project and 9 project that you have seen?
Whenever I click the module name.
Modularity.
Yeah. So here, whenever you are creating a Java 8 project, have you given anything called module name?
No.
No. From Java 9 onwards, we need to provide a module name. So where that module name, every project will contain one file called module-info.java. So module-info.java will be created one. Okay. Now let us look at here. Module 1. So here automatically the SRCC, the module-info.java is present, correct? Now can you see that SRC is a package? Now, so module-java is a file in which you need to provide the dependencies, okay? Because my rt.jar earlier, my rt.jar used to have all the classes, like when I say all the classes, JDBC or RMI, any code that you wanted to use from the predefined Java classes, all the codes are present in the rt.jar. Now rt.jar is no longer available because rt.jar is containing 5,400 classes. Whenever you are executing a Java program, all these 5,400 classes will be loaded into your runtime, correct?
Correct, sir.
What is the process of class loader? Whenever you run the program, what happens internally? Can someone tell me? Core Java topic. This is a core Java topic. What happens whenever you run a program? Do you guys know what is a class loader?
Class, actually Java code will convert into byte code and
That is during the run compilation, right?
In class loader, there are 3 class loaders: a bootstrap class loader, extension class loader, then application class loader. Bootstrap class
Bootstrap,
loader will
extension,
application
and
or system class.
system or application. Yes, yeah. What is a
Bootstrap
bootstrap?
will load, it will load the rt.jar.
Okay. And what is the extension?
In library ext.jar, that will be
Okay, lib/ext. Okay. What is a system?
all the classes present in the class path will be loaded.
User defined classes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so here there are different types of class loaders. Yes, whatever you said is correct. So first class loader is Bootstrap, which is responsible to load the rt.jar. So whenever you are working with a Java, you have to install Java version. Like if you are installing Java 8, it will load all the rt.jar. That means in the rt.jar, how many classes you have? Around 5,400. Now, can I say that all these classes, whether you are using or not, all those will be loaded?
Yes, sir. Loaded.
Okay. Now, similarly, extension and system class loader will be loading the different classes. That's fine. Now, so whenever it is loading, so in the class loading, there are 3 steps: load, link, initialize.
Initially, yes.
In the load part, these 3 different whenever it is loading, so these 3 different class loaders comes into picture and it will load all the classes. So and then during the link phase, I think it will perform magical number check. Okay. For example, whenever you compile the whenever you compile the Java file, what happens?
Java will be converted to dot class.
Dot Java file will be converted into dot class file. Once the dot class file is generated, what does the dot class file will contain? It will contain some byte code, correct? Yes or no? Now here in the Eclipse, I have written many here in Java 9 features, I have written many classes, right? So dot Java files. Automatically, can I say that Eclipse will do the compilation? What is the advantage of Eclipse using Eclipse? Eclipse will do the compilation automatically whenever you write the code. Agree?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, where the class file, so that means whenever Eclipse is doing the compilation automatically, it will generate the class file. Where the class files will be present?
Bin folder.
Yeah. So in the Eclipse, whenever you go to the path, the 0 to Java features, this is my project. Okay. Now here, Java 9 features. In the Java 9 features, so I can see the bin path, correct? Bin folder. So Eclipse will create a separate folder called bin. Internally in the bin, it will follow the same structure. Com, Ashok IT, interface changes, Java 9 changes. So I have all the classes. Look at here, the type is class file. The source code will be present in the SRC folder. The SRC, go to Java, Ashok IT, Java 9 feature. Look at here. Auto closable, diamond abstract, diamond operator example. All these are the Java file. You can look at the type as Java. Now, Java file will be under the SRC folder. Once you write the Java file, automatically Eclipse is doing the compilation. After compilation, .class file will be generated. Where the .class file will be present under the bin folder, there will be a folder called bin. In the bin, it will follow the same package structure. Com Ashok IT Java 9 features. See, you are able to see the class file, correct? If I open this class file, it will contain some bytecode. Will you be able to understand this one?
No, sir. Decompiler needed.
Okay, yeah, decompiler is needed. But see, now here I'm able to modify it. So I'll do something. See, I'm adding something, correct? So can I say that I have modified my bytecode now?
Yes, sir.
Now, how does, see, when that means I have modified the bytecode, how does the Java will know that byte, whatever the class file that is generated is proper or not, correct?
Yes, sir.
That because
During
I just now I have modified some, I have written some ABCDs. So that means, can I say that I have corrupted that class file?
Yes, sir.
So how does the Java knows that whether the someone is corrupted, that someone has done the corruption or not? So during the link phase, it will do the magical number check. So there is some algorithm by Java programmers. So that is called as a magical number check. Using this magical number check, what it will do, it will check, it will identify whether the bytecode has been modified by the programmer or not. Okay. So now if it is modified, then the program will not execute immediately. If it is modified, the program will not execute. If it is not modified, then only the program will execute. Okay. Hope you guys are able to understand what I'm trying to say. This auto closable example. Now let us try auto closable example, run this program. Run as Java. Okay. I think it does not have the main method. Where the main method is present. Try with resource, right?
Try with
Auto
resource,
closable.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Now let me run this program. See, I'm getting some error. Yes or no? See, unsupported class version exception. Java 80, Java 9 auto closable has been compiled by more recent version of the let me copy this one and put it in the notepad so that we can read it properly. See here, auto closable has been compiled by more recent version of Java runtime, class version something. This version of Java runtime only recognize a class version up to this 61.0. So that means, can I say that they are doing some code, something to identify whether someone has modified the bytecode or not?
Yes, sir.
So that is taken care by the during the link phase. There is something called as a magical number check. Using this magical number check, Java will identify does anyone has done any changes to the class code or not. So once that is done, so it will come to the initialize phase. In the initialize phase, so if I have a static variables, during the initialize phase, static variables will be assigned with the initial value. For example, if I have a Boolean variable, what is the Boolean variable predefined value? Default value of a Boolean variable.
False.
False. Okay. If I create any static Boolean variable,
False.
yeah, if I create any static Boolean variable during the initialize phase, static variables will be assigned with a default value, false. Later, whenever your class is loading, that time it will be reassigned with your true value or whatever you have decided. So that means during the load link initialize phase, what happens is all the rt.jar class files, static variables, everything will be memory will be occupied. Okay. Now that means it is loading all the 5,400 classes. So assume that it is taking some 100 MB. Assume that maybe 100 MB. It is more than that, but assume that for time being it is taking 100 MB. Now with the Java 9, are you loading a complete rt.jar?
No, sir.
So here, which modules? So whichever the module you are working, you are loading only that, correct? So
Right.
here, here in the module-info.java. So it has all the see, if you look at in the runtime, all are present. See, java.base, java.compile, all are present, but all this will be loaded? No. Whatever you mention here in the module-info.java, those only will be loaded to your runtime. That's the reason. So now here, by default, only one module will be loaded, which is nothing but a java.base. So java.base will take, so earlier rt.jar is containing all the classes. Now, using the java.base module, it is not containing all the classes. Assume that it is containing around 1000 classes. Okay. It will be very less than 1000, but time being, I'm taking it as 1000 classes. For this one, it will take 40 MB, assume that. Okay. Now, will it load all other classes? See, in the module-info.java, if I want to use that in the earlier example, if I want to use the data SQL, what is the package that what is the module I need to use? Java.sql. Unless until I mention this one, are you guys able to see the compile time error? Earlier, whenever I am writing the database code to explain the try with resource, so if I am not writing this statement requires java.sql, were you guys able to see the data import statements, java.sql connection, driver manager, all of this?
No, sir.
No. That means your project itself is not considering those packages. That means those are not getting loaded, correct? So that means whichever the module you need, except the java.base module, you need to mention that in the module-info.java, so that only those will be loaded. Now with this feature, can I say that my runtime memory will be saved a lot?
Yes, sir.
So whenever you open any application, for example, you are opening very frequently, you guys are using a Google Pay and Phone Pay, correct? Whenever you are using a Google Pay and Phone Pay, so whenever earlier, if you look at 1 year back, whenever you open the credit application or Google Pay or Phone Pay, it used to take a lot of time, correct? Now they have simplified it. That means whenever you load the application internally, they will run some process and it will occupy some memory. Can I say that now it is very fast? So that means they have reduced the loading memory.
Correct, sir.
Yeah, the same thing is happening with the Java 9 onwards. Java 9 onwards, your application will not load all the rt.jar. Whichever the module that you have written inside the module-info.java modules, only those class files will be loaded into your memory. Okay. Agree? Now let me create one class. So from Java 9 onwards, you need to create a package for sure. Without package, you cannot create a project. Now com.module1. Okay, com.module1 I have created. Now let me use this. I am creating a class called test. Now generally, so what is this class? Test is main public. Now what is the meaning of a public?
Accessible throughout the application.
Whenever I write this M1 method sysout module1 test class M1 public method. Okay. Now, whenever you make that method as a public or class as a public, can I say that I can access it anywhere? Correct. Now, if you want, if it is a Java 8 program, assume that you have created a Java 8 project. Now, if you want to access this module1 in this project in something else, some other project, then what do? You create a jar for this and then use it. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Now, let me create one more Java project. Module 2. I'm creating module 2. Guys, look at this. What I'm trying to carefully. This is a change here. Now here in the module 2, I will create another package called com.module2. Done. So I created a package. Now I will create another class called test2. Now in the test2, I want to use the module, this module1 test.java. I want to use it. Now let us try whether I will be able to do it or not. Let me write a main method. Now let me write test t equal to new test. Am I able to do it? I'm getting a compilation error, correct? So I'm not even seeing the test class in the compilation, in the runtime. Now what you will say, sir, this project is not present in the build path of this module 2, hence you are not getting, correct? Let us add the build path then. Build path, configure the build path. Let us add this module 1 in this one. So there is a concept called as earlier you have a build path. Now, since you have created a module, so you will get a module path. In the module path, add or else go to here, module path, add. What is the project I want to add? Module 1. This is a Java 9 module, so I'm adding it. Okay, done. Apply and close. Okay, now I have the module 1 in my, can I say that my module 2 is having the module 1 as a build path? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, am I able to see that still? The test 1, I'm able to see. Okay, but still compilation error I am getting, correct? What is the compilation error I'm getting? The type com.module1.test is not accessible. Though it is a public, see, what is this test class? It's a public, but still you are getting a compilation error. It is saying that not accessible. If I do the same thing with a Java 8 project, will I get an error?
No errors.
No error, we don't get an error, correct? But Java 9, we are getting an error. What is the problem? First of all, you guys understand this, what is happening? What is the problem? Everyone, this is very important. Srivalli, Sunil, Vaibhav, Sanjay, hope you understand what is happening.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we are doing here is, see, generally, if you do the Java 8 project, you create the homework for you guys today is you create module 1 Java 8. Okay, don't do Java 9, you do Java 8. Create one package and create test.java. Again, module 2 Java 8. Here I have mentioned Java 9, but you guys have to do Java 8. So after doing this 2 modules, go to the module 2 and then go to the build path, configure build path, go to this project. Here you don't see the module path, but you can see only class path. In the class path, select it, add module 1, whatever you can see here, and then add it and then click on apply and close. And then here you come to this module 2 test2.java and then try to add test t equal to new test and see whether you are getting a compilation error. Whenever you are doing that, you don't get a compilation error. Okay, in Java 8, you don't get a compilation error. Just try it. If you guys are not able to do it, I'll explain that tomorrow. But in the Java 9, though I have added the module path, still are you able to see I'm getting a compilation error?
Yes.
Though it is a public, it is telling it is not accessible, correct? That means from the Java 9 onwards, what is a public? The definition of a public is nothing but any class or any method that is mentioned as a public, it is for that module only. In other project, you want to now in this module, I want to see in this test to module 2, I want to use the module 1 class. Then what I have to do? This has to be exported. This package has to be exported. Now in the module-info.java, you need to write one command called export. Whenever you write this export followed by the package name com.module1, export com.module1. Whenever you write this command like this, export, yeah. So you have to write, see, what is the meaning here? This com.module1 is a project which is present in the module 1. These can be used by others. If I want to give the access to others, then in this module 1 project, in the module-info.java, I need to use this command. So here, for each and every package, you need to write this command. Whenever you write this command, others can see this one. See, look at here. Now, see, others can see this. Okay, but still I'm getting a compilation error because here in the module-info. See, module 1 is getting exported, but you need to use it in the module 2, right? So this module 2 requires module 1, correct? Module 1. So see here now, let me save it and then look at the compilation error. See, it is gone. Hope you understand what did I do? So that means whenever you're writing a project, whenever you're creating a public, what is the definition of a public from Java 9 onwards? Is it for across the projects, or is it only for that module?
Only for that module.
Yeah. So that means if you see what is the, whoever is not speaking, please go on mute. Okay. Now, what is the advantage of doing like this? Now, you guys are working in the project. Sometimes you have to work with a third party. When I say that, for example, you're working with, for example, assume that there is a SBI bank. That project is given to TCS and Infosys. Okay. They are different. They are developing different applications, but this application has to talk to each other. At that time, can I say that you will expose your endpoint? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
TCS will expose the endpoint to the Infosys. And then if so, at that time, whenever they are exposing the endpoint, whatever the classes, if you are using a normal Java 8 approach, by using that endpoint, they can look at the code, everything, correct? The Infosys. But if you are creating a Java 9 module, what you can do, whichever the classes you want to expose it, those classes you can see here. I can write multiple packages, right? Let me create one more package, com.package, com.test. I'm creating one more package. Okay. Now here I have in the module 1, I have two packages, com.module1 and com.test. But can someone in the com.test I'll create 10 classes. Can anyone, and in the module-info.java, I'm not exporting com.test. Can anyone access this com.test classes?
No, sir.
No, unless until you export them, no other module can access it. Only within the module you can access it, but no other module can access it, correct? So that means, can I say that you are providing the security? See, you are writing some business logic, some important logic of authentication. Like whenever you are writing logging to the application, you are taking a username, password, and you are doing some encryption algorithm. Do you need to expose that encryption algorithm to the third person?
Not required.
Not at all, correct? So that time, can I say that you write that encryption algorithm under the com.test, and in the module-info.java, don't export that com.test, so that no one can look at this code, correct? No one can call this, though the classes are public, no one can call this classes, right? So that is a beauty, like the modularization will provide the security. So there is another thing called no class definition error will also come. I will explain that in the further classes. So tomorrow we'll have a class at 10:30, or I'll let you know 10 or 10:30. I will let you know the time in the Telegram group. Okay. Any question, guys? Monday might be holiday. I have some important meeting. So that's the reason I'm keeping the class tomorrow. Any questions? If no question, that's all for today, guys. I request whatever I have explained, that's creating a module 1, module 2 using Java 8, please practice it. And then you can share the code in the Telegram group and see whether you are getting a compilation error or not. Yeah, if no question, that's all for today, guys. Does it understood? Whatever we discussed today? Yes, no, some response, please.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So please practice that Java 8 project so that you will understand what is the difference between 9 and 8. Okay. Then we'll see. I'll share the tomorrow class timings in the Telegram group. Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day.